Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dinda Amalia, and today I would like to deliver a speech regarding the presentation by Dr. Willy Arenandia. As you all already know, the presentation is about strategies that really work in the L2 or EFL classroom. The speaker first mentioned that students who are successful in speaking English are mainly due to reading a lot. Then, he explained that EFL is different from ESL, and the application of ESL ideas into EFL learning might not work. So, some of the strategies he mentioned in the video are: first, instead of focusing on a student's productive skills, it's better to focus on a student's receptive skill, such as listening and reading. Second, don't force EFL students to think critically if they are still struggling with the basic vocabulary and grammatical structures in English language. And third, guessing words from context is not always useful for EFL students. At the end of the video, he stated that any successful language program required the coordination of 4 elements. First, lots of meaningful exposure via listening, feeling, and reading. Second, lots of meaningful communication via speaking and writing. Lots of meaningful language awareness activities, and lots of meaningful repeated practice. Okay, so regarding the quality of the presentation and the speaker, this is referred to an effective presentation. The reasons are: first, it has an explicit objective, namely strategies that really work in the EFL classroom. The content is related to the objectives and purposes of the presentation. The content, furthermore, based on the content of the presentation and the place where the conference was held, I assume that the audience members consist of educators and undergraduate students. Thus, I take it as true that the objectives are relevant to the needs, interests, and requirements of the audience. Then, from the beginning, we can see that he used a high-quality visual aid in the form of slides and PowerPoint. The supporting visual was relevant to the audience because the speaker used appropriate and unambiguous illustrations to illustrate his explanation so that the audience will not be distracted by images they may not be comfortable with. The information contained in the slides include important and straightforward points so that the audience will easily catch the content of the material. Next, the speaker smoothly and professionally delivered his material using language familiar to the students. Since the presentation was held at Sukmyong Women's University in Seoul, South Korea, I infer that not all of the audience were native English speakers, so the speaker made the best decision by using appropriate language with precise speech rate, not too slow and not too fast, to help audience truly understand what the speaker is saying. Then, given that this was a 30-minute presentation, the time he spent does not exceed the time limit. In addition, the presentation is well organized and thought out so that the speaker can present it splendidly. We can see that he stated that he opened the presentation with some questions to grab the attention of the speaker. We can see that he opened the presentation with some questions to grab the audience attention, and then he stated his points thoroughly. For the closing part, he kept his conclusion brief and to the point by adding a reflection and his suggestion about the language program. In conclusion, the presentation delivered by Dr. Willy Arenandia can be said to be effective. Then, judging from the way he presented, we can conclude that he applied the 4 P's of effective presentation, namely plan, prepare, practice, and present, so that he seemed to really master the material he was presenting. Lastly, as a prospective teacher, the presentation he made was very useful in helping EFL students succeed in learning English, not only in terms of examinations, but also in terms of the actual language use or the ability to use English for basic communication purposes. That's all from me. I hope it can be useful for all of us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.